So in trying something different, I'm not doing a full video tutorial on how to paint something. I actually have this video separated into 3 segments. The video notes has links to each segment and sets out the time, like a table of contents, so you can just click and go to each segment. You don't have to watch them all, or if you want to re-watch one of the segments, they're easy to find. I thought this might be fun because this week I didn't complete a painting, but I started a new painting and I had some other thoughts about art, and also in getting ready doing YouTube videos, I made a discovery about washing your face that I thought might be fun. So it's all experimental. I think doing it this way, I would give more detail in my paintings because I do an hour a day. And when I have all the hours added together, it makes this huge editing mess for me. And I tend to cut corners and I don't want to put in so much detail. But if I've got it broken down into 1-hour segments, it's not as overwhelming. So you might not get a whole painting in 1 week's video, but you might get some other cool stuff too. Does that make up for it? This video has 3 segments. You can look in the video notes below. You can click the links to each one and skip any of the ones you're not interested in, or watch them all. The first one, I'm reevaluating Pinterest and what kind of art I like, but I learned a lot doing this. You could do it too. Okay, the last segment, I'm starting a new painting, and I'm telling you, every step of this painting looks worse than the step before. I'm not sure how it's gonna end up. You'd have to wait for next week's video. So don't you wanna subscribe? Oh, you might wanna go watch the segment first, huh? I wanna have community in my art world. We artists, we're all alone in our art space. We're just painting away and doing what we do. But who do we have to talk to, really? Ourselves? Can you tell that I have practiced talking to myself? Well, I do. You all have motivated me to wash my face every day. I'm washing morning and night. Look at this. I'm 35 and I still get acne, but it's going away. Thank you for the motivation. Thank you all. You've already made my life better, even though I don't know who you are, but I'm sure there's millions of you out there watching right now. No. I spent some time updating my favorite art Pinterest board because my style has changed since I started painting. Also, while painting the berries last week, I began thinking that my taste in paintings is different than my taste in photography as an art. That is significant because I paint from photographs. If choosing a photograph I like for painting purposes doesn't guarantee I will like the painting, I need to explore the reasons for that disconnect. This thought also made me realize that liking a painting doesn't mean I would want to hang it on my wall. As I updated my favorite art Pinterest board, I made notes on each pin. I decided to keep marking whether or not I would like it on my wall. With that thought in mind, I saw all the artwork I pinned in a new light. There were a few surprises. One is that I removed half the paintings from my favorite artist Richard Schmid. The ones I kept were mostly labeled, "No, I wouldn't hang them on my wall." There were 2 that I labeled, "Maybe I would hang them on my wall." I learned that I like paintings that have an almost abstract quality in the brushstroke style, and I also like haunting colors. I haven't chosen any scenes with direct sunlight, and I learned that I don't like portraits when the subject is looking toward the viewer. I'm linking to my favorite art Pinterest board in the video notes, and I would love to see the favorite art Pinterest boards of anyone out there willing to share. So this might not be news to anyone else, but I don't have a good track record of taking care of my face. In fact, I think probably for the last 5 years, I don't know, years, I haven't had a regular wash my face routine. I just kind of like scrub it with a washcloth in the shower if I remember. But lately I've been wanting to take care of it better again, and I bought these little, I'll show you, these Kroger's exfoliating cotton rounds. When I was a teenager, I used apricot scrub. That was the only face wash I ever used. So this morning I washed my face with those cotton exfoliators. and I got like so much gunk off. It was like discolored. And if I use a white washcloth, it doesn't get discolored. Or if I use one of those like wipes that doesn't have exfoliating stuff, it doesn't get discolored. This made it discolored. And now I have to say, I have kind of big pores, and my pores are like so small. And I'm putting on foundation today, and there aren't like big holes that I'm like, get in there, foundation. It's like rocking my world. I can't even express. In choosing my next painting, I wanted to incorporate what I learned from my Pinterest exercise using haunted colors and abstract brushstrokes. I chose this image because my canvas size is only 5 by 7 inches, and the composition is simple enough. I hope to practice new techniques. When I couldn't get my printer to work, I had to freehand draw the outline. This is fine if my goal is an abstract finish, I suppose. I started blocking in the background with French ultramarine, using my palette knife rather than a brush. I love the strokes of the palette knife more than those of a paintbrush. So this is an experiment and also a way to avoid cleaning brushes. I didn't use any paint thinner. I'm not sure how painting up to the lines will go, but that's part of the fun. My approach here is to simply use a color that is close to what I want the end color to be, but the unmixed version. Finishing the blue background went better than expected. I also worked in some Viridian green to represent the lighter sections of the background, even though that didn't make the underpainting any lighter. At this stage, I wonder if it would have been better to have the lighter yellow ochre underpainting for the skin already down. This way, I have to be careful about the lines twice. Or do I? Maybe I can err by pushing into the background without being penalized, since I'm using a lighter yellow ochre. I started using yellow ochre for the underpainting of the skin, but because it was so dark, as you can see in the neck, I broke down and added white. I also broke down and used a brush to apply it. Using the brush and the yellow ochre mix, I worked it into other areas of the underpainting, such as the branches near her neck and forehead. I tried to mix a darker blue using ultramarine blue and a speck of yellow ochre for the middles of the flowers on her head. I was satisfied with everything until I noticed the brush strokes on the skin of her face. Wanting a smoother texture, I scraped it with my palette knife all the way up the face, and I scraped too much face into the background. That's gonna need a little bit of work next week. Okay, so you watched all 3 segments. Did you love it? Let us know if you loved it. Subscribe if you want to see more, if you want to see what happens with the rest of the painting. I promise I can make it better than it is right now. Subscribe by clicking on the little circle. Watch more videos. You'll see us in our very, very goofy Snapchat phase. You have so many options. So many options. So many options.